The panicked text I got 24 hours later told a very different story than the one she had been telling me for months. I am 31 male. I work as a logistics manager for a medical supply company. Not glamorous but stable, good benefits. The kind of job that lets you build a life with someone, or so I thought. My girlfriend Veronica is 29. We had been together for 4 years, living together for 2. I thought we were solid, not perfect but real. The kind of relationship where you choose each other every single day even when things get hard. She started therapy about 8 months ago after a rough patch at her job. Her boss was legitimately terrible, like screaming at people in meetings terrible. I encouraged her to talk to someone. Thought it would help her process the work stress and maybe develop some coping strategies. At first, therapy seemed great. She would come home from sessions energized, talking about boundaries and self-care. I was genuinely happy for her. But around month 3 things shifted. Every session became about me somehow. Dr. Whitlock says you exhibit controlling behavior because you asked about my spending. My therapist thinks it is concerning that you want to know where I am going when I leave the house. We explored how your need for a clean kitchen is actually about power dynamics. I started feeling like I was living with a psychology textbook that had developed sentience and decided I was the case study. Every normal relationship thing became pathological. Asking if she wanted to go out for dinner was controlling. Mentioning the dishes had been in the sink for 3 days was power dynamics. Being concerned when she did not come home until 4 in the morning without a text was toxic masculinity. I tried talking to her about it, suggested couples therapy so I could understand better. She shot that down immediately. Dr. Whitlock says that is what controlling partners always suggest to manipulate the narrative. The real kicker was that I started walking on eggshells in my own home. I would think 3 times before asking anything. Stopped mentioning household stuff altogether. Just quietly did all the cleaning myself. Started spending more time at my buddy Theo's place just to breathe. Then came Tuesday. I had worked a long shift. Came home to find Veronica on the couch with her therapy journal and what I can only describe as a prepared speech face. Marcus, I need to share something important from today's session. I sat down, genuinely curious what insight Dr. Whitlock had provided this week. We have been doing deep work on my anxiety and we have identified the source. She paused for drama. It is you. Dr. Whitlock says you are the primary source of my anxiety and I need to consider what that means for my healing journey. I sat there for maybe 30 seconds, just processing. 4 years. 4 years of supporting her through career changes, family drama, her mother's passive-aggressive nonsense. For years of being told I was doing everything wrong while footing 70% of our bills because her passion career in holistic wellness coaching barely covered her car payment. I see, I said. She looked surprised, think she expected protests, maybe begging. Instead, I stood up, went to our bedroom and started packing. What are you doing? She followed me. Therapy journal still clutched like a shield. Solving your problem, I said, folding shirts into my duffel. If I am the source of your anxiety, the solution seems pretty straightforward. That is not. Dr. Whitlock says we need to work through this together. You cannot just leave. Actually, I can. And I am? I grabbed my laptop, chargers, important documents from the filing cabinet. I will get the rest of my stuff later. The apartment is in your name anyway, so that is convenient. The panic started creeping into her voice. Marcus, this is exactly the kind of dramatic reaction Dr. Whitlock warned me about. You are proving her point. I zipped up the bag. Maybe. Or maybe I am just tired of being someone's therapeutic punching bag. Either way, your anxiety source is removing himself from the equation. I left a note on the kitchen counter. Problem solved. You are welcome. I will stop by Saturday afternoon for the rest of my things. Please be out. Drove straight to Theo's place. He did not ask questions, just handed me a beer and pointed to the spare room. That is a real friend. The text started exactly 19 hours later. Update 1: You guys were right about the extinction burst thing. Though I guess this is more like a reality burst. So the text started Wednesday evening. First few were angry. This is so immature. Dr. Whitlock was right about you. You cannot just abandon me like this. This is emotional manipulation. Then around 10 at night the tone shifted. Hey, can we talk? I may have miscommunicated what my therapist said. Please come home so we can discuss this. Marcus, this is really unfair to just leave without talking. Thursday morning, 6 in the morning, my phone started blowing up. 15 missed calls. The texts got more urgent. The electricity bill is due and I do not know the password. Where did you put the router? The internet is down. I cannot find the insurance cards. Marcus, please, here is the thing. I handled all our household admin because she found it overwhelming. Passwords, bills, insurance, everything. I tried to show her multiple times, even made a spreadsheet, but she would wave it off. You are so much better at that stuff. Then came the kicker text around noon Thursday. How am I supposed to afford this place on my own? Rent is due next week. I almost responded to that one. Almost. But then I remembered 3 months ago when I suggested we get a cheaper place since I was carrying most of the financial load. Her response was that Dr. Whitlock says financial anxiety is often about control issues. Maybe you should explore why you are threatened by our lifestyle. Our lifestyle that I was paying for. The next series of texts was about her car. My check engine light is on. The registration sticker expired. Why did you not renew it? I do not know where to get an oil change. Lady, you are 29 years old. Figure it out. Then the social media posts started. Nothing directly about me. Just vague stuff about going through a challenging time and when people show you who they are, believe them. And my personal favorite, surrounding myself with healing energy as I navigate this abandonment. Abandonment. I literally solved the problem she presented to me. Thea showed me her Instagram story where she is at some expensive smoothie place with her friend Janelle. Caption reading, self-care is not selfish. The same woman who was just texting me about not affording rent. But Friday was when it got really interesting. Her mom started calling. Patricia. I did not answer, but she left voicemails. Apparently Veronica called her crying about how I had suddenly walked out with no warning and left her destitute. Patricia's voicemail. Marcus, I do not know what has gotten into you, but this is not how adults handle problems. Veronica is devastated. She has had to borrow money from me for groceries. Call her immediately. Groceries. Right. Veronica had a fully stocked fridge when I left. Plus the $400 of emergency cash she always kept in her jewelry box, but sure. She needed mommy's money for groceries 2 days later. Saturday came. I texted her that morning. I will be there at 2 in the afternoon for my things. Please be out as agreed. Her response. I will be here. We need to talk. I showed up with Theo in his truck. Veronica was there, full makeup, wearing the dress I had told her looked nice on our anniversary. She had lit candles. Candles, Marcus, please, let us just talk about this. I think there has been a huge misunderstanding. No misunderstanding, I said, starting to pack my books. You were clear. I am the source of your anxiety. I am removing myself. This is what you wanted. That is not what I meant. Dr. Whitlock says. I do not care what Dr. Whitlock says anymore, Ronnie. I am done being the villain in your therapy narrative. She followed me around the apartment as I packed, alternating between tears and anger. You cannot just leave me like this. What about the bills? What about my anxiety? Your anxiety is your responsibility. As for the bills, they are all in your name. Your apartment, your bills. But you know I cannot afford this place alone. Then maybe you should have thought about that before deciding I was the source of all your problems. The mask slipped then. The tears stopped like someone turned off a faucet. You are really going to be this petty? Over one comment. Ronnie, I have been your therapeutic punching bag for 5 months. Every week you come home with a new dysfunction Dr. Whitlock has diagnosed me with. I am done. This is financial abuse. She screamed. You got me used to a certain lifestyle and now you are yanking it away. Theo snorted from where he was wrapping my gaming console. She whirled on him. This is none of your business, just here to help move boxes, he said, but I caught his eye roll. As we were leaving with the last load, she grabbed my arm. Please, I will tell Dr. Whitlock she was wrong. I will switch therapists. Whatever you want. What I want is to not be someone's anxiety source. Mission accomplished. We drove away with her standing in the doorway, no longer crying, just staring with this calculating look I had never seen before, or maybe I had and just ignored it. Update 2, the extinction burst evolved into what I can only call a reality tornado. After Saturday's move out, the text shifted to a weird mix of love bombing and threats. I have been thinking about all the good times we had. Remember our trip to the coast? We were so happy. I found your old college sweatshirt. It still smells like you. Then an hour later, my friend is a lawyer. What you are doing is illegal abandonment. I have rights. We were basically common law married. You will be hearing from my attorney. Fun fact: we do not live in a common law state. Also, her friend who is a lawyer is a paralegal who does real estate closings. But the real entertainment started Monday when I got a call from my boss. Veronica had called my workplace. Let that sink in. She called my workplace. Apparently, she told our HR department that she was my domestic partner and that I was having a mental health crisis. She was concerned and thought they should know I had abandoned our home and was acting erratically. Fortunately, my boss knows me well. I have worked there for 6 years. Never had an issue. He called me directly. Hey, Marcus. Just got a weird call from HR. Your ex-girlfriend apparently thinks you are having a breakdown. I explained the situation. He actually laughed. So she told you that you were her problem and you solved it. That is the most Marcus thing I have ever heard. Is this going to be an issue with HR? No, I will handle it. But maybe document everything in case she escalates. She escalated. Tuesday, I got a notification that I had been tagged in a Facebook post. I do not use Facebook much, but there it was. Veronica had written this long, rambling post about emotional manipulation and financial abuse, and how her partner of 4 years had suddenly abandoned her, leaving her unable to pay rent or buy food. She did not use my name, but she tagged me and several mutual friends. The comments were interesting. Most people were offering generic support, but a few people who actually knew us were less sympathetic. My favorite was from Brad, a guy we had had dinner with a few times. Did you not tell us last month that your therapist said Marcus was toxic and you needed to set boundaries? She deleted his comment within an hour. Then came Wednesday. I got a text from an unknown number with a screenshot of a Venmo request from Veronica for $1847. The message: Hi, this is Janelle. Ronnie asked me to send this since you blocked her. This is her half of the rent and utilities you owe. She says you know this is fair. Her half of the apartment I do not live in. That is solely in her name. That she told me I was making her anxious by existing in. I did not respond. Thursday, another unknown number. This is Dr. Whitlock. I am reaching out because Veronica has expressed concern about your recent behavior. While I cannot discuss her treatment, I would like to encourage you to seek support during this difficult time. Abandoning a partner suddenly can be a sign of deeper issues. I have some colleague referrals if you are interested. Her therapist. Her therapist contacted me. I screenshot everything and sent it to my buddy who actually is a lawyer. His response: this is wildly unethical. Save everything. Do not respond. But Friday was the chef's kiss moment. Patricia, Veronica's mom, showed up at my workplace. Let me repeat that. Her mother came to my job. Security called me down to the lobby. There is Patricia, designer purse clutched to her chest, demanding to speak with me about the situation with her daughter. I went down mostly to prevent a scene. Marcus, this has gone far enough. Veronica is distraught. She cannot eat, cannot sleep. Patricia, she posted Instagram stories from 3 different restaurants this week. She is trying to heal. You have traumatized her. I left when she said I was the source of her anxiety. How is that traumatic? You know she did not mean it like that. Dr. Whitlock explained it was about working through issues together. Then maybe Dr. Whitlock should have been clearer. And maybe you should ask yourself why a 29-year-old woman needs her mother to confront her ex at his job. She is desperate. She cannot afford that apartment. She will have to move back home. And there it was. The real issue. Patricia did not want her daughter moving back home. That sounds like a Veronica problem, not a Marcus problem. How can you be so cold? You loved her. I did. But I loved the person I thought she was. Not the person who spent months making me the villain in her story. Security started hovering closer. Patricia noticed. This is not over, she hissed. Update 3 final. So the unknown number Saturday evening was from Dr. Whitlock's supervisor at the clinic. Turns out that Veronica's therapist contacting me directly was a huge ethical violation. When I did not respond to her message, Dr. Whitlock apparently panicked and tried to cover her tracks by claiming she was concerned about a potential domestic violence situation. The supervisor was very professional but clearly pissed. We are investigating a complaint about inappropriate contact. Can you confirm whether Dr. Whitlock reached out to you regarding a current or former patient? I sent them the screenshot of her text. They thanked me and said they would be in touch if they needed anything else. Monday, Veronica's text took a panicked turn. What did you do? Dr. Whitlock is in trouble because of you. She was just trying to help. You have ruined everything again. Ah yes, me screenshotting an unethical text is definitely the problem here, not the therapist who sent it. Then came the email from Patricia. Subject line: financial arrangement proposal. She actually itemized what they felt I owed Veronica. 3 months rent to give her time to adjust. $5,700. Emotional distress compensation. $3,000. Therapy costs since she would need to find a new therapist. $2,000. Lifestyle adjustment support. $5,000. Grand total $15,700. The email ended with, "We believe this is more than fair considering the circumstances. Payment plan can be discussed." I forwarded it to my lawyer friend. His response: "Please tell me you are going to frame this." Tuesday brought news from the wellness center. According to Theo's girlfriend who works there, Veronica had been let go from her part-time coaching position. Apparently calling your ex's workplace and having your mother show up there does not reflect well on a wellness professional. The Facebook post had also backfired spectacularly. More people who knew her started sharing their own stories in private messages to me. She did the same thing to Trevor in 2019, said he was toxic. He left. She tried to destroy his life. I was her friend for years until I set a boundary about lending her money. Suddenly, I was triggering her trauma. She owes me $800 from 2021, blocked me when I asked for it back. But the real karma came Thursday. Remember that apartment she could not afford? The one I was financially abusing her by not paying for? Well, Veronica had a brilliant solution. She posted on Facebook looking for a roommate, seeking conscious, mindful individual to share beautiful space, must respect healing journey and therapeutic process. No toxic energy. She found someone, Melody, a 23-year-old who just graduated and was excited about living with a wellness coach. Melody lasted exactly 5 days. She reached out to me through Instagram. Guess my name came up in the apartment. Her message: "Hey, I know this is weird, but did you used to date Veronica? I just need to know if I am crazy or if she is really like this with everyone. We had coffee." Melody's stories were wild. Veronica had a house meeting on day 1 to discuss Melody's energy and how it was affecting her anxiety. Melody was not allowed to cook certain foods because the smells were triggering. She was asked to not use the living room between 6 to 8 in the evening because that was Veronica's integration time after therapy. Veronica tried to charge her extra for emotional labor when Melody asked where the recycling bin was. The kicker: Veronica had told the landlord that her partner would be handling rent like always. When it did not appear, she tried to blame me. The landlord called me. I was still on the old lease as an emergency contact, confused about why I would be paying rent for an apartment I did not live in. I clarified the situation. He was not pleased with Veronica. Melody moved out and stayed with a friend. The landlord started eviction proceedings. Last I heard through the grapevine, Veronica had to move back in with Patricia. Dr. Whitlock lost her license to practice. Veronica is trying to become a life coach. Since wellness coaching did not work out, she is dating someone new. My condolences to that poor bastard. Patricia is still emailing me monthly asking for money. As for me, I am doing great. Got a promotion at work. Turns out being less stressed makes you more productive. Who knew? Started actual therapy with an actual professional who has never once suggested that my existence is someone else's problem. Even started dating someone who thinks asking about their day is caring, not controlling. Thea summed it up best last week. Bro, she really told you that you were her problem and you just agreed and left. And it broke her brain because you were supposed to fight for the relationship so she could keep being the victim. Yep, sometimes the best response to someone telling you that you are their problem is to simply remove yourself from the equation. Problem solved. Oh, and for everyone asking. Yes, I kept the screenshots. Yes, I documented everything. No, I never responded to any of them after leaving. And yes, I am grateful every day that when someone told me I was their source of anxiety, I took them at their word and left. Best decision I ever made. Veronica tried to contact me last week through LinkedIn of all places. Said she has been doing deep work and realizes she projected her issues onto me. She would like to meet to apologize properly and discuss potential reconciliation. I did not respond, but I did notice she is still living with her mom according to her updated location. Guess some anxiety sources are better left in the past.